Hey, good people, Baldhead Hierophant here, and welcome to my channel. If you are new, welcome. I hope that you do choose to subscribe and stay. And if you are returning, welcome back, okay? Welcome back. I appreciate each and every visit to my channel, more than you guys know, okay? So I'm coming on because I started something and I must finish it, okay? I started some information about Lilith, and she said, girl, if you don't get on there and finish talking about me through the signs, you better. And of course, I'm going to oblige, right? So if you guys didn't get an opportunity to go and check out my last video where I was actually getting ready to do a reading, and a transmission came through that stopped me right in the middle or the beginning of my prayer. And I saw the word Lilith in my mind's eye. And I was like, wait, what? Because I thought I was going to do a reading. I was prepared to do a reading. I had did a nice shuffle, you know, and I was like, ooh, I'm in a real good vibe. And I knew it was love. I knew it was about love. But then something kind of intercepted, and it ended up being a informational video about Lilith, as well as a reading for Lilith in Aries. So that was just a day before yesterday. So again, go check that out if you haven't already, especially if you have Lilith in Aries. Now, you could have just been interested in your Lilith sign, because that was one of the things I said. I'm like, wait a minute. Has somebody been currently looking into their Lilith? Is that what I picked up on? Or was I speaking to someone whose name was Lilith? Or was Lilith there with me at that moment and said, fuck love, teach them about me? So I think it was the latter. I believe her interception was, they'll figure that love thing out. Teach them where I'm at in their biosphere. So anyway, that's what I'm coming back on to complete. So I started with Lilith and Aries. I don't think I'm going to do a reading. I don't think a reading is necessary. I think I am going to just inform you guys as much as I can about Lilith in certain signs, well, in all the signs. And I'm even going to touch on how she may impact and affect you based on what planet she's in conjunction with, okay? Because that changes the whole scope of her when she's in conjunct, which means she's in alignment or right up on a planet in your chart. So let's just, for an example, let's just say you have Libra in Lilith in the third house, and you also have Jupiter in the third house. So that's what I would mean when I say up on her like that. They all compacted together in a house, okay? So I'm going to kind of break that down in layman's terms so you guys will totally understand what I'm saying. But more than anything, I hope to encourage anybody, to just go and do their own research. And I'm going to give you enough information today that it is my hopes that it's going to inspire you to go into your own Lilith journey, okay? Because she's in you, whether you know it and whether you acknowledge her or not. And for those of you who are not acknowledging her, I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that she's running amok on you, because you can't, women who don't acknowledge their Lilith, she feels like you're treating her just like the masculine energy treated her, just how the patriarchy treated her. You're smothering her. You don't want her to be seen. You don't want her to be heard. You don't acknowledge her. You don't allow her to be free. You don't allow her wisdom to guide you. That's how she felt about Adam. That's how she felt about being bossed around by the patriarchy, okay? So women who don't honor their Lilith, they pretty much act a lot like men. They're very masculine, and they talk bad, down, and against the feminine. I'm talking about the type of woman who's nasty toward women, who always has something negative to say about women, who has very negative outlooks on other women in her world, in her life. Ooh, look at her. She fat, she ugly, she bald head, she black, she white, she this, she that, name it. Those women who operate in negative energy toward other women have a broken, splintered, shattered, and scattered Lilith. So I'm gonna get in this thing. Hopefully it will help somebody, anybody, tap a deeper version of themselves, and it's also going to help you. And it can heal aspects of you once, because once something is brought to the front, once you understand why you do something and how this has been happening beyond your control. So you thought it was beyond your control. Well, when you don't have information about something, it is out of your control. But these things have probably been happening to women, and it's been outside of their control because they didn't know. So now that you're going to know, you can change it. Because see, when we know better, we do better, okay? And for those of you who have always felt some type of correlation to your Lilith, this is just going to confirm or further validate information that you already innately knew, okay? There was something intuitively placed in you already about Lilith. You may not know where it came from. You might not know to accredit it to Lilith, but you knew something moved you in a very wild, free, feminine energy. And that is Lilith, okay? So I already spoke on her in Aries, so I'm not going to start there again. I will say that when she's in Aries, she's feisty, she's spicy, sometimes she's angry. She's very masculine there because she doesn't like being in that sign, because Aries is a masculine sign ruled by a very masculine planet. So listen, when Lilith is up against anything masculine, it makes her cold and angry and mean, spiteful, scolding, because she's in an energy, or she's up against an energy that doesn't respect her, okay? So when she's in Aries, if you are a Lilith and Aries woman, you are probably very, very angry. And your anger, especially toward men, because you're not going to be bossed around. You're not going to be submissive. You're not going to do anything that the patriarchy wants you to do. And you will fight. You will fight for your wild feminine freedom to be released, okay? So I'm talking about physically fight. Those are women who are physically aggressive, okay? But you can go back and watch that last vid that's titled Lilith and Aries to maybe get an understanding on that, okay? And if by chance that's not enough information for you, because I didn't go deep, but I gave enough for you to start your own research. But if that's not enough information and you would like for me to go just a little deeper, then you can leave it on this video if you're here, or that other video. Just leave a comment saying, please go a little deeper. But I would really encourage you just to start your own journey, because the more you know about your Lilith placement, the more that's going to grow and give you more information about you. I can give you as much information as I can, but I don't think it's going to tap you the way it would tap you if you were to go do that on your own. So something else I want to show before I get started is this is the book that I actually showed in the last two videos that I made, the Lilith video and even the video prior to that. I spoke about this particular book. It is Dark Goddess Magique, and in this book they speak on several of the dark goddesses, ways to invoke them, information about them, all of that good stuff. But the reason I'm showing this now is because I want to show you, for those of you who are not aware of the Lilith symbolism, I want you to see it. This is how Lilith is depicted. That is her Veve, or you could even consider it her sigil, okay? But this is how she is depicted, okay? So that is Lilith, okay? Put any color you want to her. Make her your own, okay? We talking about an energy. We're talking about a spirit. We're talking about a frequency. All that, it's black, it's white, it's this, it's that, it's Indian. That don't matter. She gonna turn into whatever race you are when you call upon her, okay? All right, so that is Lilith, the rebel, okay? The seductress, the protectress, the matron, okay? So when she is in Taurus, because that is the sign that I am picking up with, and I'm actually going to do just one whole video. So I'm not doing several videos for each one. This is going to be probably an hour-long video. So stay tuned to find yours if it's on further down, okay? But when she is in Taurus, okay? Let me go back because I feel like I need to break this down one more time. I already broke it down in the Lilith and Aries, but I feel like I need to go ahead and do this one more time for the collective that will soon be here, okay? Lilith in a woman is her dark self, it's her shadow self, it's this part of her that was probably mistreated, maybe in a past life, maybe in this life. It's the part of her that she is not able to live out loud and be and do because the patriarchy has their foot on her energetically. So she's not a light love goddess. She is a buck the system. I'm going to come out and do me however I got to make that happen. And if a man gets in my way, or if a masculine woman gets in my way, if anybody stops my dark light, I'm going to act up. Okay? When she's in a man, because men have a Lilith placement too, okay? Women know their energy based on their Lilith placement. Men have a Lilith placement, but that's not because the Lilith is going to make them act like her. No, when it's in a man's chart, it shows the type of woman he respects. Okay? It shows the type of woman who he knows not to go back and forth with. It shows the type of feminine energy that he's probably more willing to honor, worship, reverence, and respect. Sometimes if he was raised up by this type of woman, let's just say he was raised up by a woman whose sun sign is in Virgo, okay? Her Lilith ain't in Virgo, but he was raised by a Virgo woman. And by chance, his Lilith is in Virgo. Then 9 times out of 10, he's really going to lean in and really respect Virgo women. Number one, because his Lilith is there and he was raised by a Virgo woman. Now, a lot of times that's not the case. Men's Lilith don't necessarily mean that that's the type of mama he was raised by. But I can guarantee you this. If his mama isn't in relation to the Lilith sign, then he's probably going to have fluctuations in how he feels about women. And it would behoove you women to read up on his Lilith sign to find out if it's in alignment with your sun and your Lilith. Okay? But I hope I did not lose anybody with that. But that's why you have to do the work on me, and you have to find out that, does he respect your type of woman? Because your Lilith is your type of woman, especially when you go dark, especially when it's dealing with your emotions, especially when it's dealing with you not feeling like you're getting heard and seen and felt and respected. That's Lilith. That is Lilith. So if you're dealing, let's just say you're dealing with a man who has his Lilith in Sag. Sag is a fire sign. When she's there, listen. But let's just say you are a Cancer, okay? You're Lilith in Cancer, or you may even be a Cancer sun sign. Y'all ain't gonna too much get along because he's gonna expect you to be fiery. He's attracted to and will respect women who say what they mean what they say. They go by their own energy, because that's what a Lilith and Sag woman does. If you are a water sign and you're the type of woman that's a little more submissive, you are a little more emotional, a little more apt to be compassionate, a man who has his Lilith and Sag might run over you because he's used to somebody who's going to put him in his place. And even though he may outwardly look and act like he wouldn't be bothered with that, in our reality, that's what he craves, because that's the type of Lilith that's the type of Lilith that's in him. Has nothing to do with his mama, unless she was a Sag woman, or her Sagittarius and Lilith. Okay, so I hope you guys are following me. Okay, so let's jump straight on in. If y'all got questions, drop them in the comment sections, because I don't want to keep giving different scenarios, because then I won't never get to Lilith in the sign. So when she's in Taurus, when Lilith is in Taurus, she's comfortable, she's luxurious, she's opulent, she's grounded and nurturing in her own energy. Nothing really moves her. Nothing you say or do is going to make her change who she is, unless you begin to fuck with her comfort, her groundingness. If you don't respect her comfort, if you don't respect how she shows you comfort, if you don't respect how she indulges, because Lilith in Taurus likes to indulge. She's very indulgent, and it might be to the degree that it looks to other people to be overly indulgent. So if you say to a Lilith in Taurus woman, you're doing too much, you're gonna see her stand up in a way that's probably you're gonna think she's mean, evil, angry, and disrespectful. If you're the type of person that you do everything very modest, and you tell her, oh, you're overindulging, she's gonna stand up. If you are a man and you have a woman who is a Lilith in Taurus, and she has dressed the house up, she keeps it clean, she's cooked dinner, and you come home and you don't acknowledge that she's done that, or she cooked this big old dinner and you've already stopped at Kentucky Fried Chicken and got you a little 3-piece meal. So when you come in, you don't even care that she done cooked. You go upstairs, take a shower, shit, go to bed, and you don't care about this comfort and all the things that she's done to make you feel good. When you don't acknowledge that, child, listen, she is going to mount up. Let me show it to you again. Let me show it to you again. She's going to mount up on your ass. But men who have their Lilith in Taurus are more likely drawn to women who are very down to earth, who are happy homemakers, who are comforters. They don't mind giving you their credit card so you can go to Home Goods or Kirkland's or wherever you go to do your home decor shopping. They don't mind giving you that card so you can go get them spa treatments, because a man who already has his Lilith and Taurus wants this type of woman anyway. Okay, so he's going to respect the fact that she's going to spend his money making sure that she looks and feels good, and make sure that her home looks and feels good. Because again, when she's in Taurus, she's very luxurious. She lives a life of opulence, and she's going to get that by any means necessary, whether she takes it or whether you offer it to her and she receives it. But one thing about it, and two things for sure: if you don't respect it, child, the way she's gonna mount up, and you're going to see Lilith in her bull energy, and you don't want to see that. Okay, so I hope this gave information, okay, about that. Now, I do want to I don't want this video to be so super duper long, so I think I'm going to cut it up into earth signs. So I think I'm going to do Virgo and Capricorn next, because, oh goodness, it'll be so long because I have so much to say, and I want to give attention and detailed attention to each sign. So I think this is going to be Lilith just through the earth signs. Okay, just through the earth signs. So let's talk about her in Capricorn. Lilith in Capricorn. She doesn't necessarily like being there either. Okay, as far as the energy, because let me go back. Lilith in Taurus is feminine, so she's comfortable in that sign. Taurus is a feminine sign. Okay, so I meant to mention that when I was doing the Lilith in Taurus. Lilith in Capricorn, she does not care much for being there. Capricorn is a masculine sign. It is ruled by, oh, Lord, I forgot about that too. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Earth. Taurus is an earth sign ruled by Venus. Venus and Lilith are like that. Okay, that's her sister. Okay, let's just say that we'll say Venus is the light and love sister and Lilith is the dark sister. Okay, so when she's in a feminine sign, whether it be another dark feminine sign or a light feminine sign, it doesn't matter. She meshes well there. Now I can go back to Lilith and Capricorn. Lilith and Capricorn, that's a masculine sign because it's ruled by Saturn. Saturn is a masculine planet. Okay, so when she's up against that type of energy, it makes her it can kind of make her masculine. In a way, with how she expresses herself, it comes out more explosive. It comes out more, there's no freedom to do and be. She's more organized and strategic, and she likes to orchestrate things, and she wants to run everything, and she's more apt to be like a taskmaster. Okay, so she doesn't like being there either, because that's what she tried to get away from. She didn't want to be ruled, and she didn't want to have to follow a routine. She didn't want to have to work. But when Lilith is in Capricorn, that's what it makes a woman be. It makes her be that, did you do this? And make sure you do that. She's a taskmaster. She can't even really be her free, feminine, wild, seductive self because she's too busy getting things together. And she don't like that. She does not like that. But she can't help but to move in that energy because that's the energy of that sign. Okay, so when a man has his Lilith in Capricorn, that's the type of woman he's going to respect. He's going to be okay with his woman being the line leader. He's going to be okay with his woman telling him what to do. He's going, and not in a bossy way, but in a, hey baby, we got plans at 5 o'clock. I already put your suit in the dry cleaners. I got it out. It's laying on the bed. Get it on because we have to be at this place 15 minutes prior to, so please don't be late. You know, she's like that. She's very on time. Capricorn people, period, whether they're in Lilith or not. Capricorn people are very on time, be forward time people. But that's a part of that taskmaster type of energy, right? When you don't respect that in her, you will see her mount up because she's going to follow suit with the energy of her, and she wants her man to do the same thing. So if you are a stay in the mirror all the time type of man, and it takes you too long in the bathroom to get ready, you don't follow through with plans. She told you to stop and get celery sticks because she's trying to cook dinner because she's got something to do at 7. She don't want to be at that stove all day because she's got a presentation she's got to present. You come home, you done forgot the damn celery. It's stuff like that. Okay, something simple. This stuff isn't gray, big, rocket science type stuff. These are little things that, to depending on the sign, depending on the energy, could be looked at as something really, really big. Okay, so a man who has his Lilith in Capricorn is going to like a woman who is very organized and very has a strategic approach to, you know, the daily life. Okay, she works. Okay, so she might be the kind of woman that says, look, you know how you got this home looking good? You know how the dinner's already ready? You know how I run this household the way I run it? Because number one, I'm strategic. I have a plan, okay? I go to work. I come home. I do what needs to be done. I don't have time to roll around and have sex until 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning. She's strategic. It's not that she doesn't like sex, but she's gonna write it in, okay? Because I have to go to work. Okay, Capricorn women are very known for taking care of their family, but can't necessarily be there emotionally because they are physically focused on handling business. And if they can fit in, you know, play, they will. They absolutely will, but they're not necessarily going to put that before handling business because they are task masters. They're going to handle them tasks first. And if you find a man who does not like that about you, if you find a man or if you encounter a man who complains that that's all you do is work, you ain't never here with the kids, you ain't never at home, and when you are, there's going to be a clash there, men, if you don't respect the type of woman that you have. Also, Capricorn women are the type of women that may put their job and how they make money over the family. They may not come to your family gatherings with your mama and them. They don't see that as a necessary task. So if you fuss and whine because your wife ain't showing up every time your family do something and she says, oh, I can't do that because I got to go to work, or hey, I can't do that, I've already got something planned, you're going to see her mount up because you trying to make her be something that she's not. You're trying to make her come outside of her Lilith energy. And her Lilith in Capricorn, unfortunately, is very is masculine. It is very I got things that I need to do and I'm focusing on those type of energy. Okay, so hope that helps someone who has that Lilith in Capricorn. Okay. So now let's talk about Lilith in Virgo. Let's talk about Lilith in Virgo. When a woman has her Lilith in Virgo, it's going to make her very body conscious, okay? It's going to make her very, to the degree that she may not be fat. But if you joke around with her and call her fat, you're going to see her mount up. If you joke around with her about how she takes care of herself, she's going to mount up. If you make a joke or you crack a joke about anything pertaining to her service to herself, how she services herself, how she takes the time out to do whatever she does for herself. Because see, all of this energy that she's putting toward herself is to keep herself, keep her self-esteem up. And if you shit on it if you crack a joke about it, if you talk about it in a negative way, you're going to see her mount up because Lilith in Virgo, she's innocent there. She's very, I'm not going to say she's weak, but she's in a very youthful maiden type of energy there. She's forever trying to accept herself in Virgo. She's forever trying to stay youthful and abundant, and she's forever young in that energy. So she's impressionable. She's easily encouraged and inspired, but she's also easily broken, depending on what you say to her about what she's doing to keep herself youthful and free. So she has a plan. She's probably the type of woman that has a very similar to Capricorn. Except hers is not so much to work as it is work on thyself. Okay, they're very, Lilith and Virgo are very it's a word for them, and I'm saying that they're very planning, but they're very, it's not it's slipping my mind, but for the lack of a better word, they plan as well, but their planning has everything to do with servicing thyself. So they may be the kind of get up, they're going to jog, they may come home, fix some type of vegetarian or vegan, because they're very into that kind of stuff. You're going to find out that Virgo people in some shape, form, or fashion live a very as healthy as possible lifestyle, and you're going to have to fit in with that. And now this may not have anything to, it could have everything to do, or it could have nothing to do with how they eat. It could be they put a lot of mental work in. Some of them put a lot of emotional work in. They're going to always be working on some version of themselves: mind, body, heart space, soul. And they're very strategic with how they do it. They're going to plan it out in such a way that routine, Ashe, thank you, Spirit. They're very routine-ish. And if you don't fit in with their routine, if you have a problem with their routine, if you make fun of their routine, if you have something sassy and negative and sarcastic to say about that, you're going to see Lilith mount up, because again, she's doing everything in her power to remain esteemed and youthful and very free in how she services herself. Now, she's also the kind that gives service to others. So, but it's probably going to be geared around taking care of yourself. So men who have a Lilith in Virgo, you are probably the type of man who needs, whether you know this or not, you probably need a woman who's going to cook very healthy for you, because a Virgo will. You're going to need a woman who she's very the way she's going to try to understand how you feel is very analytical. So you may feel like she's always trying to treat you like some type of psychology patient, when in our reality she's not. It's just that that's how they understand people, from a psychological standpoint. So if you are the type of man, you have this Lilith in Virgo, but you don't respect women who like to have deep conversations because they're trying to get to understand you. They want to know, if you overweight. Number one, a Virgo person is probably not going to deal with an overweight person or a very unhealthy person. So if you are a man and you are overweight, you have very nasty habits, you don't take care of yourself, and then you make fun of a woman who does do that, or you don't make time to try to understand why she does that, you're going to see her mount up, because that's what matters to her when she's in Virgo. That's what matters to her when she's in Virgo. And she's going to communicate with you about why she does what she does. And she expects you to understand. She expects you to listen. And she expects you to converse. She wants dialogue, because she also wants you to do those things. So it's really important for women who have Lilith and Virgo to make sure that they link with men who feel the same way, because it's very easy for women who have that placement to get their feelings hurt, to feel rejected, to feel like somebody is scoring on them, And again, if God forbid, a Lilith and Virgo person is called fat, is called unhealthy, and if somebody is saying those type of things maliciously, you could really break a Lilith and Virgo person. But you're going to see something else mount up. When you break their innocent spirit, you're going to see a very demonic spirit mount up. Okay, so just be very aware of the sensitivity of a Lilith and Virgo. And men, if you have that placement, but you have never really understood why you're drawn to women who are health conscious and body conscious, and they do a lot of work on themselves, now you know. And you are attracted to that, because that's the type of Lilith energy that is within you. So you actually desire a woman, and you respect the path of a woman who follows that path, even if you didn't have that kind of mama. See, I believe that men who have, no matter what the Lilith placement is, whatever your Lilith placement is, men, if you had the opposite type of mama, that may be why you don't understand that Lilith energy in you. So when you meet a woman who matches your Lilith sign, you don't even really know how to respect it or honor it or add to it, because you probably still moving in that mother wound, or you are only so used to the women in your family who may be totally opposite from this Lilith and Virgo woman, that you don't know how to handle her. And you cannot mishandle a woman who has her Lilith and Virgo. You mess up generations of women when you mishandle a woman who has her Lilith and Virgo, because she's not as strong as some of the other Lilith in other signs. I'm not saying she's weak, she's just very delicate. When she's in Virgo, she's delicate. Okay, so I hope this has helped the men and the women, but more so women, because I feel like women who have Lilith and Virgo, you probably didn't understand this about yourself if you haven't been doing the work. You probably didn't understand why you were so overly concerned about how you look. Whether it's pertaining to weight, whether it's pertaining to just how other people view you. Okay, you don't like to be told that you look old, because you somehow equate that to being unhealthy. Okay, so Lilith and Virgo is all about health, mind, body, heart space, and soul health. They're about health, servicing themselves, and they also want to service their mates in that same arena, though. They don't really care nothing about the other things. Like, they feel like, okay, making money and talking about stuff that's not pertaining to servicing self, to them, they feel like they'll listen, but it doesn't register, because they feel like that's your own stuff. That's something that you need to become very excited and adamant about, and just do those things. But hey, what I want to talk about is, are you healthy? Are you taking your meds? If you have meds, do you take care of yourself? Do you take your vitamins? Do you work out? Do you meditate? Do you pray? What do you do to maintain your sanity, your youthfulness, your vitality? What is it that you can add to me to help me maintain those things as well? So there we go, y'all. We have done it through Spirit is actually telling me to go ahead. We're 35 minutes in, so I may be able to get all of them out. So that was the earth signs, okay? Taurus is done. Capricorn is done. Virgo is done, okay? So now, did I talk about, I don't know why I feel like I missed out on something with Capricorn, but I went in depth. Okay, so anyway, next, let's go into the water signs. We're talking about Lilith in Pisces, Lilith in Cancer, Lilith in Scorpio. So I'm going to start with my favorite. I'm going to start with Lilith in Scorpio, because she's home there. She's home in all three signs. But when I say she loves being in Scorpio, because she doesn't have to do anything. It's very natural. It's home. You don't got to do nothing when you're at home. It's home. So when she's in Scorpio, she's home. She's dark. She's seductive. She's all in her taboos. She's all into her idiosyncrasies. She's very tapped into her sexuality. She can do what she wants, because that's her home. That's her placement. She can transform. She can transition. She can transmute. She can transcend. She can do whatever she wants to at home. A woman who has her Lilith in Scorpio probably moves in a very whore-like energy. And she does it easily, effortlessly, matchlessly, and beautifully. She does not care. That's who she is. That's where she is. That's where she's at. That's what she does. And she's the queen bitch in that area. So, you know how the old saying used to be that men would say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife? She don't care about that. Because she's not. If you decide to marry her, she's still going to do what she does. You knew what it was when you got her. And trying to change her, trying to cage her, trying to tame her, you're going to see her mount up. You're going to see her mount up. She's not going to let you. She's not going to, if anything, she's going to transform you. So you going against her, you talking about her, you trying to shame her, you trying to hurt her, harm her, show her how she is, is wrong. Anything that goes against Lilith in Scorpio, you are going to feel her wrath. That's like somebody breaking into your home and trying to steal everything that you have brought into your home. Or I can give you even a better example. That's like you inviting someone into your home and they telling you that everything in here is ugly and scary and why you got this and I don't like that. Child, the way you finna see that baby mount up on your ass, you better not walk into no, and I'm saying this metaphorically, meaning don't walk into a Scorpio's life trying to down, shame, clown, or make fun of them and their lives and how they live their lives. You're going to see, and when I say mount up, I hope y'all understand that I'm meaning you're going to see the big, bad wolf bitch come out of her. She's coming. She's going to mount up. Yes, I'm going to show it again. She's going to mount up. Don't play with her. Don't play with Lilith. Do not play with her. And let me tell you something, women, because I don't think I mentioned this in the earth signs. Hopefully everybody in the earth signs are still here watching, even this water sign, Lilith. If you allow someone to come in and damage your Lilith, if you don't honor your Lilith, if you deny her, she gonna mount up on you too. She don't just mount up on people who disrespect her or try to cage her. She mounts up on the women that she embodies, because she's like, what are you doing? Why are you not letting me be? Why are you trying to cage me? You reminding me of the men. So see, I'm finna get in you, and I'm finna run amok on you. I'm finna sabotage everything you try to do that goes against me. That part of you that you try to suppress, I'm gonna bust it out, and I'm gonna make you do it, and I'm gonna make the world laugh at you because you don't honor you. You're not honoring me. So it's not so, it ain't just about what the men do as much as it's about what you don't do to allow her to be free. So women, you got to move in this energy, and you got to be okay with it. But I know that's hard for a lot of women, because a lot of women are still under the program of the patriarchy. And the patriarchy does not respect Lilith on no level. On no level. Okay? So men, if you have a Lilith in Scorpio, deep down, you love hoes. Deep down, you will marry a prostitute. Deep down, you will marry a stripper. Deep down, you love a whore. The sacred whore. You love her. And see, that's what she is when she's in Scorpio. She's a sacred whore. And baby, don't know. Men don't like her, because she does two things to them. She makes them feel good, and then she can make them feel bad because they can't control her. So men normally it's a love-hate relationship that men have with a Lilith and Scorpio woman, because they love her so much that they hate her because they can't change her. And they also know that how she is with them is how she is with every man she meets. So it's not exclusive to them. It's not individual. They don't feel special. They can't, because they know that that's who she is with every man she meets. And see, that's tantalizing and and mesmerizing and daunting all at the same time to a man. Because see, men want to know that that's how she's a freak for me. She don't do that to nobody else. Or men want to think that I made her like that. I made her nasty in bed. But see, they can't claim that with a Lilith and Scorpio, because she was born that way. She was born free, wild. And listen, she is the true seductress. And she ain't gonna let you clown her. She ain't gonna let you change her. And if you try, the more you try to come against a Lilith in Scorpio, the more you try to change that, the more you try to tame that, the more you try to clown and make fun of it, you're gonna see her mount up. And there's so many ways that a Lilith in Scorpio shows that you got her fucked up. And I'm not even going to mention them because it's just going to take too long. But I just, listen, don't play with her. Now, let me go back to the men who have this placement. 9 times out of 10, you don't. Some men will go ahead and move in this energy very well. And them are the kind that probably marry whores, strippers, or women who got really bad reputations of being with all the men. Okay. Some men will go ahead and marry her, and all their friends and family like, oh, why you marry her? You knew she was a hoe. You knew she was a freak. You knew she was this. And he's standing there like, I don't care. This is mine, and I love her just like that. See, now the Lilith and Scorpio woman loves that kind of man. Because you standing 10 toes down, and you are respecting, worshiping, honoring her in front of everybody. She gonna be good to you. And you might just get all to yourself. But if you are the kind of man that secretly you love whores, but you talk crazy about them outwardly, you have a covert obsession, which means covered. You have a covert obsession with Lilith and Scorpio type women, but in front of your homeboys, you talk crazy. Man, fuck that bitch, she a hoe. I treat that bitch like a slut. You know, that type of stuff. Or in front of your family, you scared to bring the woman that you really love home because you don't want your family to be like, ugh, who is that? Why would you bring her? She is that's a huzzy. That's a floozy. She's a, you know, that type of energy. She gonna get you. She gonna get y'all kind. Cause in her mind, why you fucking with me if you afraid of me or if you are embarrassed of me? So men, 9 times out of 10, men who were brought up by men who have their Lilith and Scorpio may not have been brought up by a woman who operated like that. Okay, so they mama's good boy, and mama's good boy wants to bring home a Christian woman, and she cooks and she cleans and she's a good wholesome woman. That's the kind of woman that they bring home, but they deeply desire the sacred whore. So, all right. So let me talk to you women who have this placement, because some of y'all are suppressing her. You know what? I'm going to tell you what it reminds me of. Women who have their Lilith and Scorpio. Listen, the movie, I believe it's called Addicted. And it came from a book by an author named, I think her name was Zane. Go watch that movie. By day, this woman was married, but by night, baby, she was a hoe. She would go to the club. She pinpointed who she wants. She fucking them in the bathroom. She fucking a whore. A whore. Okay? And when I say whore, I ain't talking about the kind of the prostitutes that go up and down the road getting paid. Okay? They are Scorpios. They are Liliths and Scorpio babies too. But I'm talking about the kind who suppress her during the daytime because they don't want to be looked at or judged, you know, unfair, right? But by night, they become her. That's how Lilith will bust through you and make you honor her when you try not to, okay? Now, for those women who don't honor her at all, when she's at home, you think she gonna continue to let you not let her breathe? A lot of times, y'all don't even get the opportunity to not operate in it. When she's there, she makes you operate. She makes y'all cheat on your husbands, your boyfriends. She makes you have inappropriate relationships with your boss at work. She makes you have sex with your best friend's man because he turned on by that Lilith in Scorpio energy. She makes you, and you can't stop Lilith in Scorpio when she's home, baby. So this is what I do know. A lot of Lilith and Scorpio women got a lot of secrets that they're going to take to the grave with them. They're going to take to the grave with them because you really can't suppress her when she's there. You really live out loud in that energy and probably don't even be knowing it. Other people can see it on you. Now, because I am clairvoyant as fuck, I can see energies on people. I talk about that a lot on Instagram. I call it being able to see people's darknesses. I see your demons. Okay, so I know when I'm around a Venus in Scorpio woman and a Lilith in Scorpio woman, because those who have Venus and Scorpio operate very similar to those who have Lilith there too. Okay, and God forbid you have Lilith in Scorpio and Venus there. Oh my God, and your son there. Child, you are Queen God, sacred whore. But I love it because there's room for Lilith here. See, she's never felt welcomed because the patriarchy kicked her out. Go do your own research on Lilith. If you don't know nothing about her, if you don't know her story, go read up on her and then come back and watch this again so it can make sense to you, okay? Now let's talk about Lilith and Cancer. I can speak on this directly. I am a Lilith and Cancer woman, okay? So how she moves when she's in Cancer. She's mothering. Keep in mind that Cancer is the mother sign anyway, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. So she's all things mother. You better not disrespect mother. You better not disrespect mother on no level. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, sexually, economically, okay? You better not disrespect mother. Now, Lilith Just like she loves being in Scorpio, she loves being in Cancer, because her desire was to be a mother. She is a mother. She's the primordial mother. But I'm speaking from a more 3D aspect with having children. But she was so lied upon, right? She was so she was lied on and said that she kills babies. They ruined her reputation. The patriarchy ruined her reputation. We know how, when men talk about women, they it can be a whole lie. Men make up lies about women, and these lies penetrate throughout the city, the state, the world, whatever. In Lilith's case, the cosmos. Okay, so she began to be looked upon as a wicked woman, a wicked goddess, a wicked witch. Okay, so I just said all that to say, when Lilith links with the moon, she's also at home, because she feels mothered, and she feels like she can she feels like she's being mothered, and she can be mothering. Okay, she can be her true, more domesticated self when she's in Cancer. But she also runs the risk of being disrespected depending on the type of man that she meets, or the type of masculine women that she meets, right? When she's in Cancer, she's just big on being respected. Okay, it's not too much else that ruffles her feathers there, unless the owner of a Lilith in Cancer placement also doesn't respect and doesn't honor that version of themselves, that Lilith in them. So women who have that that placement, Lilith in Cancer placement, you shouldn't be moving in a bowing down to men type of energy. You should be moving. Matter of fact, I can tell you that you are the queen. You are the goddess. You are the mother, not to just your own children, but like Nicki Minaj says, all you bitches is my sons. Everybody on earth is your child when you have Lilith in Cancer. Now, I say this wholeheartedly because I operate and move in my Lilith in Cancer easily and effortlessly, and I always have, even before I understood what was going on, why I was always so willing to help, so ready to nurture, so ready to comfort, so ready to help, so ready to heal, so ready. And when it was rejected, when it wasn't respected, when it was taken advantage of, when it was dismissed, when it was laughed at, when it was, oh honey, those people felt my anger. I mounted up. Because what happens when you disrespect Lilith in any sign, you bring her evil side, her demonic side, her witch side. And see, this is what the patriarchy know. This is what the patriarchy know. This is one of the reasons that they don't like Lilith, and they don't like her to be talked about. They don't like her to be worshipped, honored, and revered, right? Because there's a side of Lilith that if you do right by her, you worship her, you honor her, you'll reap the benefits from her. But there's another side of her when she's not worshipped, when she's not revered, when she's not honored, and she's not respected, she's going to get you. Point blank, period. She's going to make your life hard. She may fuck over and fuck up your family. It's things that she's going to do to let you know that she is the primordial mother. And you will not disrespect her, no matter what sign she's in. But when she's in Cancer, you can rest assured, you can bet your life on it, that she is going to put you in a position where you're going to respect her. You're going to bow to her, whether you do it willingly or be forced to. So when a man has his Lilith in Cancer, 9 times out of 10, he's drawn to her. And he's drawn to her because he probably had a bad relationship with his mom. Maybe his mom died early. Maybe she was incarcerated. Maybe she was on drugs. Men who are drawn to women who have a very mothering energy because their Lilith is there, are drawn to her even if they don't really want to be there. And they don't understand that Okay, so it's a possibility that their Lilith is in Cancer, or they could be a Cancer man. But most definitely, if their Lilith is in Cancer, they're going to be drawn to a woman who is very she's very firm but loving. Another thing that men have to be careful on when they have this placement, because a lot of men will run to a Lilith and Cancer woman, get what they need from her, but try to run back to or go find what looks good to them, because the Lilith in Cancer woman may not look how the man wants her to look. Not saying that she's ugly, but he may have some type of preference. He might prefer light-skinned women. He may prefer a dark-skinned woman. He may prefer women with long hair. He may prefer women with a nice texture, a nice body, big titties, big booty. Men have preferences, right? And ain't nothing wrong with that. Everybody has preferences. But men who have Lilith in Cancer may get what they want from the Lilith and Cancer woman and then put her on the back burner until they need her again, and then run off and give all of their goodness and their worship to the woman who gives them nothing. And that's where a Lilith and Cancer woman is going to mount up on that man and wreak havoc in his life. So men, listen. Don't use a Lilith and Cancer woman because she makes you feel good. And I ain't even speaking about sexually, okay? Because a woman who has a Lilith in Cancer can make a man feel like a king. She can heal him. She can feed him. She can comfort him. She can nurture him. Everything that a man needs, a Lilith and Cancer woman can give it to him. But once he gets that from her, he's gone on to feed his flesh. He's gone on to feed his preferences. He's gone on to marry. Because a lot of times, men who have their Lilith in Cancer, they don't want to honor that, or they don't know to honor that. They don't know that that's the woman that they probably need, okay? They go and get what they need from her. They keep her on their team, but that's not who they make their main woman. So they'll get what they need. They'll keep coming back and getting what they need from their Lilith and Cancer woman. But they will go marry what feeds their eyes, what feeds their flesh, what feeds their lowerings. And also, they'll try to come back years later when they don't look their best. When men don't look their best, or when those women who fed their flesh, who fed their eyes, who fed their lowerings, when them women don't want them no more, or them women are dead, or them women done moved on, or them women ain't looking how they used to look, then that type of man wants to try to come back and see if their Lilith in Cancer is still waiting, and she's not. Matter of fact, she treats you worse than the woman that you're trying to get away from now. A Lilith in Cancer woman would treat that man like shit, can crush him to the point where he may die from depression and die from low self-esteem, because that's how scolding a Lilith in Cancer woman will be when she realizes you have used her for everything that she naturally gave to you. So men, be careful. If you're not ready for a Lilith in Cancer woman, don't bother her. Leave her alone. Don't use her. Don't get what you need from her. She's not a gas station. Don't come and fill up every time the world makes you feel low. If you don't have any true intentions with a Lilith and Cancer woman, leave her alone, because she can easily cut your light off. Okay? So Lilith and Cancer women, I do need to get on you really quickly before I move on to Pisces. You have to be careful to not give that out. Not everybody deserves your light. Not everybody deserves your moonlight. Okay? Not everybody deserves you healing and nurturing and loving them. Even though you do that naturally, even though that's just who you are, you can't even help it. But there is some accountability and responsibility you have to take, because you know those type of people when you see them, okay? And it's certain things that you need, certain boundaries you need to set up front. There's certain things that you have to set up front so they know not to cross those things, okay? So if you are here and you are hearing this for the first time and you're like, oh my God, that makes so much sense, apply what you've heard thus far. Check in with your own insight, check in with your own intuition, check in with your own instincts. If you're dealing with somebody right now who only comes to fill up because you're their kryptonite, but once they no longer need you, they're giving their money, their time, their love, their sex, their whatever to other people. And then when those other people drain them, they come back to you. At some point, you have to take accountability for that happening. And even though you have every right to mount up on them, why keep wasting energy mounting up on men when you can just draw boundaries? And if you don't see what you need to see in the very beginning with them, don't give them anything. Unless you want to play with their head a little bit, give them something they can feel, something they can miss, and never give it to them again. That's another way you can play that game with them. But most women who have Lilith and Cancer can't even play that game, because just as much as they get from it, we get something from giving it to them. Okay? So, I'm speaking all of this from experience and from being a primordial mother and moving in this energy easily and effortlessly, and learning it, learning myself, learning other women who have these placements, watching how we move. Because really, to be honest, it's not just Lilith in Cancer. Moon in Cancer women operate like this as well. Okay, so you can, some of these placements are interchangeable, and if you have them stacked, like if you have Venus in Cancer and Moon in Cancer and Lilith in Cancer, that's, to me, I call that stacked energy. The more of that you really become. Okay, so Lilith and Cancer women, don't deny. It's not, Lilith and Cancer women really don't deny themselves their Lilith energy. They more so overextend and get it abused. So that's your lesson, to not overextend to anybody. Not just men. Of course, we want to watch men, folk, but masculine women can do the same thing to any Lilith sign. But women use women who are very nurturing too. Masculine women will use a woman who has that very nurturing, giving, caring, loving energy too. Okay, so women who have that Lilith and Cancer, set boundaries in the very beginning. In the very beginning. So people won't fuck over you, okay? Lilith in Pisces. Now, y'all are a little bit more mysterious, okay? I'm not going to say that Lilith doesn't enjoy being there, because she operates there very... She's fluid there. She moves. But I'm going to tell you something. Lilith feels... She wants the opportunity to go up and down. She wants her mermaid down on the seabed energy, but she also sometimes wants to come up and get air and go on to land. Well, when she's in Pisces, she don't necessarily get an opportunity to walk the land. She's kind of forced to stay in the shadows, and she don't like that. She doesn't like to stay forced in anywhere, but she really does. Even though the sea is her home, she doesn't like being there. Not all the time. And see, Pisces stays down on that seabed. Lilith and Pisces struggles a lot with drowning themselves and drowning others. So when she's there, you have to know how to release others, but also yourself. Release yourself. Come up for air. You don't have to stay down there. I don't know why Pisces feels so connected to the bottom of the ocean. I think it's where you feel safe, for sure. But when Lilith is there, she has to come up for air. And when you don't let her come up for air, that's when you all experience suicidal thoughts. That's when you experience addictions. That's when you experience patterns and behaviors and bad habits, okay? Because she's going to do something that makes your human vessel let her out. Okay. And normally, because she's been down there struggling for so long, when she busts out, it busts out as, again, addictions. It busts out as suicide, depending on how long you've held her hostage down there with you. She's going to bust out and do something so outlandish and outrageous that to the outside world, it's going to look like, what in the hell is this person doing? It ain't going to make sense to nobody. But your inner Lilith will understand exactly why she's doing what she's doing, because you've been denying her air. She does not like to be down there amongst her sea family all day, every day. She needs diversity. She needs air. She needs to be able to see how to attune, how to move. She wants to be able to freely come up, get what she needs, come down. But when she's in Pisces, she's kind of forced to stay down there, and she don't get to dream. She's almost like the Little Mermaid, and how Ursula was trying to turn the Little Mermaid into a permanent, dark, deep sea being. She don't want to stay down there every day. Pisces, let her up, let her out. Honor her by you yourself coming up from under those dark, heavy waters. See, it's kind of different with when she's in Scorpio, because Scorpio is like an alligator. They gonna be under the water, and you might see them peek up them eyes. Because Scorpio gonna come on up. Even though they like that dark murkiness of their water, they're gonna come up. They need victims. They gonna come up. And Cancer doesn't really go deep down to the bed anyway. Cancer's waters are more surface. They can go deep, but that's just not where their energy or their aura resides. It's not a deep sea energy. If anything, Cancer needs to stay so they can see the moon. Cancer rules the water, really. Cancer rules Pisces and Scorpio. Not in a bossy type of way, but it's like Cancer stays on top so it can let everything under it know what's going on. Cancer's going to look for the phases of the moon, and it's going to tell its sisters and brother, hey, okay, y'all, it's time to such and such and such and such. So the other two water signs know how to move based on Cancer. Because what is Cancer? Cancer is ruled by the moon. What does the moon rule? The tides, the waves, the water. So the only reason I wanted to give that differentiation is because Pisces can stay stuck and never even get the memo and die in that depth. A physical death, a mental death, a spiritual death, a emotional death, can just die because it didn't get Cancer's memo to come up, Pisces. Now, when she's there, when Lilith is in Pisces, she drains people, to be honest. She's very she can be very heavy to deal with. She can be very heavy to deal with. So when a man meets her, he may tend to be afraid of her. Okay, he may be afraid of her. Okay, Lilith and Pisces, when you meet men, they're probably afraid of you. Not like, ooh, but, they may tend to be around you and then ghost you. And now you're confused. You don't know what to do. You're trying to figure out, what did I do? What did I say? But it's really that you just have, your energy is too dark, too deep, too heavy. It's drowning him. He won't necessarily misuse or abuse you. He won't know how to. He won't even stay to do that, because your first impression, you may be entirely too dark. You might be, you may not dress like a goth, but you may act too goth. You may act too to Wednesday. Okay, let me get a sip. You may act entirely too witchy. Okay, this is not to say change that, but this is to say understand that about you, and I don't want to tell you to lighten it up, because don't never change your light or dark for anybody, but for your own sake, loosen up so you can breathe, because there's more to you than just down there on the seabed, down there in those deep waters. I feel like that you may think that you're chained down there, or you may have some type of obligation just to stay down there. And that may have something to do with you not being respected on earth or on land. Maybe you feel safe down there because maybe in real life, when you incarnate into physical forms, now I feel like I'm speaking to Lilith when she's in that. When she incarnates into physical form, she's abused, she's hurt, she's sexually assaulted, she's violently disrespected. Okay, so maybe down there on the seafloor, you're safe, you in your neck of the woods, but you can't really experience the life that you desire, Lilith and Pisces people, because of that. So yours is going to be more so therapeutic. You need to get what you need so you can feel your primordial energy and feel empowered. Know when to go back to, your home, but don't be afraid to leave your home either. Okay. Now, when a man has this placement, he probably was raised up by a mother who was detached from him. She might have been there physically, but emotionally, she probably wasn't there. Mentally, she might have dealt with mental instabilities. He may have dealt with the kind of woman that resembles you. So that kind of man may pull away from you because he already dealt with that with his mom, and he doesn't want that in a wife. He doesn't want that in a girlfriend. He wants someone who can be open, who can talk, who can talk without crying, who can talk about anything without bringing up what happened in the past and showing how you're not healed and you're not healing and you're not even trying to heal. Okay? He doesn't want a woman, or he may have already dealt with women and now he's falling back afraid because he's already dealt with women who he may have lost to suicide. He may have lost to overdosed on drugs, who he may have lost to alcoholism. He may have already dealt with that type of woman. So he's drawing back to save his energy. But you are going to mount up on him and be angry about that because you're not going to understand why he's doing that. So to you, it's going to look like he's ghosting you, he's leaving you, he's divorcing you, he's cheating on you. You're going to see all of those other things. You're not going to necessarily look at it as, oh, wow, maybe I'm too deep, too dark, too heavy, too draining. You're not going to see it like that. So you're going to mount up on that kind of person, on that man, because he's just going to be trying to protect his energy because he's already dealt with that. Okay, he's already dealt with that in a mom, a grandma, a aunt, a girlfriend, a wife, some other women or woman in his life has already put him through that, and it was probably very traumatic for him. Okay, he may have already helped a woman fight addictions. He's already been with a woman that has battled certain addictions, be it food, be it drugs, be it sex, be it gambling, be it shopping, be it food, be it whatever. Okay, so Lilith in Pisces, she wants to heal because she can't be free due to all the things that she's afraid to address. She's playing it safe down there. She wants to be free. She wants to be free. She wants to explore. She wants to express, but her fears just won't let her do it. The beautiful thing about Pisces, if they're not battling, and this is Pisces wherever, but of course I'm still focused on Pisces in Lilith. She's a dreamer there. So she dreams of the day that she can break free. She dreams of the day that she is not chained and held bound by whatever makes her feel like she has to stay down there. She dreams. She's very dreaming. And when she's around people that allow her to dream, like the physical person who has Lilith and Pisces, when you are around other people who help feed your dream, who even make your dream come true, who are a part of your dream, I believe that's when you do begin to see your fish go in other directions in a good way. It's like that's like your frequency, your auras are shooting out. All your different fishes that make up your one. Did I say fishes? All your different fish, all your different sea sisters and brothers help you flow to the top. Because ultimately, I feel like you just want to be around somebody who understands you and they help you become unheavy. They help you float. Ultimately, that's what the Lilith and Pisces wants. You want someone who helps your dreams come true, your dreams of not being held down by the Ursula of the sea type of energy, which is basically your own shadows. Lilith and Pisces deals with their own shadows very deeply. And it be your own shadows. I call her the Ursulas of the sea that's keeping you down there. Okay, so that avoidism, that escapism that you have, that being evasive, not wanting to deal with the problem. Because see, when you stand down at the bottom of the bed, Lilith and Pisces, you're not even dealing with your problem. That's that evasiveness. You are avoiding dealing with the things that would help you become free. Okay, so deal with those things because you are the ancient sign of the zodiac. You are the ancient sign. You've done everything that every sign that came before you has already done. That might be why you are so afraid to come up. You've already experienced so many things, and some of those things may have become so heavy that it feels like shackles on your feet and it's weighing you down. But you have the power. You got all the answers. You got the answer from Aries all the way around to Aquarius on how to cut those shackles off so you can be free. Okay. All right. So listen, I am going to start a whole new part 2 because this is already an hour and 17 minutes. It's going to take forever to load. But if you have watched this one in its entirety, thank you so much. If you got questions, drop them down. If you would like a Lilith analyzation, go over to the description section, scroll down to that, go over to the about, scroll down to the description and find me there. I have one of my Instagram pages on there and my email is there. Okay. So if you need a session, a consultation, an analyzation, let's talk about it. Okay. Otherwise, I'll be back for part 2 where I'm talking about Lilith in the air signs and Lilith in the fire. Okay. Peace, peace.